Attention, Canadiens fans, the market is moving and the radar is already on at the Bell Center. With the team firmly in the playoff race until the NHL trade deadline in 2026, the Montreal Canadiens show that they are not just participating in the season, they are thinking big. And when a team wears this historic jersey, every move needs to be calculated like a Game 7 decision. Here on Habs Hockey News begins a special series analyzing possible targets who could strengthen the roster for this decisive stretch. And today, the lens is pointed at the Nashville Predators, a team that could enter seller mode and open interesting doors for the Habs. Among the names appearing on the horizon is Ryan O'Reilly. It is no secret that the Montreal Canadiens are looking for more depth in the top six, especially at the center position. O'Reilly would fit as a strategic piece, taking on the role of second-line center with responsibility in all three zones of the ice. Experience, game awareness, and physical presence are traits that immediately raise the competitive level. On special teams, he would add value on both the power play and the penalty kill, offering balance and tactical intelligence. And this is not just a short-term solution. His contract, carrying a $4.5 million cap hit through the end of next season, provides stability and planning beyond this campaign. On the ice, the numbers speak loudly. In 57 games this season, O'Reilly recorded 20 goals and 36 assists, totaling 56 points. Consistent production, quiet leadership, and a winning mindset. If the Montreal Canadiens want to turn a playoff appearance into a real threat, names like this naturally enter the conversation. When we look at the Montreal Canadiens system, which prioritizes speed in transition and defensive responsibility from forwards, Ryan O'Reilly's style fits very naturally. He is a player who dictates the pace through puck control, knows how to slow the game down when necessary, and accelerate decision-making at the right moments. Something essential in tighter, more physical games. His ability to win battles in the face-off circle would give Montreal more possession in key moments, especially at the end of periods and in high-pressure situations. In addition, his off-puck awareness would allow the team to maintain a compact structure through the middle of the ice, strengthening the collective identity the team has been building. On a roster that blends youth with experienced pieces, O'Reilly would act as a stabilizer within the four lines, helping maintain tactical organization and positional discipline. In big games where every detail matters, this type of quiet presence makes the system operate even more efficiently. And continuing this analysis of potential reinforcements, the conversation now takes us to another name that echoes strongly behind the scenes: Jonathan Marchessault. Throughout this season, the rumors have gained momentum, and the Montreal Canadiens appear as a destination that makes sense both competitively and emotionally. A Kabiki-Nachi Marchessault would bring not only experience, but also offensive intensity to play among the top six forwards. He is a player who likes to take responsibility with the puck on his stick, who accelerates the game along the wings, and who does not hesitate to attack space in the offensive zone. On a team looking for more creativity on the edges of the ice, that trait adds immediate dynamism. It is true that his overall numbers this season do not yet reflect the peak of his production. With 10 goals and 17 points in 38 games, however, his recent stretch indicates growth. 5 points in the last 5 games and 7 in the last 8 show an athlete regaining confidence, finding rhythm, and increasing his offensive impact just as the season begins to carry more weight. On a roster that needs consistency in its top lines, Marchessault emerges as a piece capable of reigniting the scoring power and adding competitiveness in every shift. If the move were to materialize, Jonathan Marchessault's impact on the Montreal Canadiens would be felt from the very first games. He is the type of player who raises the level of competitiveness from practice to game action, increasing the intensity of the offensive lines and demanding immediate responses from opponents. His arrival would provide a direct boost to the team's collective confidence, especially in tight matchups. Marchessault has the profile to take the spotlight in decisive moments, embracing responsibility and keeping the team aggressive in the offensive zone when the pace slows. That kind of presence changes the team's behavior on the ice. Additionally, his constant energy would shift the rhythm of games in Montreal's favor, creating extended pressure sequences and forcing defensive mistakes from the opponent. In the final stretch of a season, that kind of immediate impact can turn balanced games into crucial victories. And continuing along this line of analysis, it is time to bring another name to the center of the conversation: Michael Bunting. The Montreal Canadiens could gain a lot by adding depth to their top nine. With a forward who blends offensive production and consistent physical presence, Bunting is the kind of player who does not shy away from contact, who irritates defenders, battles in front of the net, and turns simple plays into dangerous opportunities. This type of profile adds a wear-on-tear element to the opponent, something essential in more intense matchups and long series. With his contract expiring at the end of the season, his possible arrival as a rental fits strategically. This campaign with the Predators, he has recorded 12 goals, 18 assists, and 30 points in 57 games, numbers that show steady contribution. For a roster seeking balance between talent and competitiveness, Bunting emerges as a piece capable of strengthening the offensive rotation and bringing even more energy to the group. Thinking beyond the immediate impact, Michael Bunting could represent a strategic transitional piece for the Montreal Canadiens between phases of the roster. In the medium term, he would help solidify a more competitive and resilient identity, serving as a daily intensity reference for younger players who are still establishing themselves in the league. In the long term, if there were interest in extending his contract, Bunting could become a stable element in the offensive rotation, offering versatility to play in different line combinations. This type of player makes tactical adjustments easier over the seasons, keeping the team balanced even amid natural roster changes. More than numbers, he would represent mindset, a profile that sustains the physical and emotional standard necessary for Montreal not only to reach the playoffs, but to remain competitive year after year. Looking at the bigger picture, these potential moves show a Montreal Canadiens team that does not just want to participate in the race, but to shape its own destiny. Management signals calculated ambition, strengthening strategic areas without compromising the structure built in recent years. Bringing in pieces with experience, versatility, and competitive maturity indicates a shift in stage. Montreal moves from being just a developing team to acting like an organization that understands the moment of the season and responds to it with precision. It is a clear message to the locker room and to the league. The group believes it can take a step forward now. More than specific names, the meaning lies in the posture. Adjusting the roster to sustain intensity, depth, and consistency demonstrates short-term vision aligned with future planning. If these moves are confirmed, we would be talking about a more complete Canadiens team, better prepared and more aware of what it needs to do to turn opportunity into results. And now, the floor is yours, Montreal Canadiens fans. Do these potential signings make sense for the team's current moment, and would they truly elevate the group to another level in the playoff race?